Aloha.
Hi. Shred the knobs, bro. On everybody, Cali Death Podcast back once again. Aloha from paradise. I'm here. I'm Anthony Trapani. I hope I sound all right to you guys. And I'm walking around the hotel room right now because my kids literally just walked in and started making noise. Perfect timing. They're always on point with that. Yeah, Cali Death Podcast, guys. 185. We're here with Pierce Williams. What up, Pierce?
How's it going?
Good, dude. And Casey is always with me, the resident homies, Casey Howard, Joel Horner. The professor is going to be out tonight, but I still made it. You know what? We'll rub it into with the professor later.
Hey,
as you said it.
Hold your breath.
There he is.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's perfect timing.
Hey.
I don't have headphones, so I can barely hear anybody on this. I'm at a show in LA right now, just popping in to say hi, everybody.
How's it going, dude? Good.
That was perfect time. He just literally said your name and you popped in and said hi. That was perfect.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was actually talking a little shit.
I can take you inside if you want.
Yeah.
Let's do it real
All
quick.
Yeah,
dude.
take
Who's
me
playing?
inside. All right, let's
Who's playing?
go on adventures.
1720?
Yeah, where you at? What's the venue?
I'm in LA.
I'm in LA.
What's the
He's at that
what's
one
the
venue in
next
LA.
dude?
Yeah, LA's just got that one venue, dude.
What if that was the name of the venue and he was telling the truth?
All right, we're going on an adventure. Let's get started. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's the 1720.
1720. Okay.
Yeah, it's it. What band is that?
He's
They're
probably
junking.
definitely can hear us now.
That's rock and roll, brother.
Nice.
That's some rock and roll, guys.
Is he playing
You could
tonight?
probably meet him.
I don't
No,
know if he is.
actually, that is one thing I definitely wanted to bring up on here was that was awesome what you guys did with the jam of Violent New Vomit yesterday on Cali Death. That was awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
think we should do
sick,
more of that.
dude.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do more of that. Me and
Yeah.
That was cool.
Osa were watching that, and we were just watching it on the couch, just like hanging. And I wanted to change one setting of sound yesterday. It was like a hilarious part of the fucking part where I was like, I'm gonna all right, bye Joseph. But I was like gonna go in and like just change a setting real quick, and then it put me on the screen on my phone, like put me on in the middle of it. I'm like shit. In the middle of it, you just hear me go. You see like a face pop up. I'm like shit. Get out of here. But no, it was awesome. Just like sitting at home, entertainment, watching To Violently Vomit. It's a good time.
Yeah, it was like kind of a last minute thing that we just kind of thought of doing, and I wanted to like, we should like, because I have like the recording stuff set up, and I was like, we could like run it through the computer and then like do it in the OBS and to stream the DAW live and all this great. But I was just like, I ran out of time and work was insane this week, so I was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna do it with the phone and this, and then I was like, if it had been live like on YouTube or something, not StreamYard, it would have sounded a lot better, but it sounded all fucked up and and like when we watched it afterwards, we're like, sounds like
And I was
shit.
texting you. I was like, just turn off these things. Turn on because it felt like some things were getting choked. But that's it. I think it sounded not bad.
I mean, it sounds. I mean, dude, live. By sitting in the chair the whole time, it sounded so sick sitting there. And I was just on my. It's gonna sound great, But no. But there's another. I just made another video that dude Andy, that other drummer guy, sent me like all of his phone recordings, and so I just spliced those together. I was gonna match it up with mine, and I couldn't figure out what part of what song, and it was just like I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna make a compilation of his recording, and then I kind of did a little sound thingy on it, and it sounds pretty good. It's a lot better sounding.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna upload
That's a
that.
cool idea
after
though. Get
the
bands
episode.
to like
Yeah.
just have a fun jam practice with the band and just film the fun that comes with being in a band and fucking around and farting and drinking and whatever. Doing all the fun things that bands do, you know?
Gotta make it
You
sound
only really
sick.
get to, you only really get to see them like perform live for you, but you never get to see like how much usually, I mean, unless you're in a weird, toxic, shitty band, you get to see like, you know, how much fun everyone has and all the stuff that we loved doing so much because we used to practice like 3 or 4 times a week. But that's the good times. That's the good times. So anyways, let's get back probably on the Anthony Drunk alert. I'm just kidding.
Dude, it's I'm just dealing with. Sorry, I'm blowing it right now. But all right, they're good now.
No, it's
So Pierce, dude, thank you so much for being with us tonight, dude. I actually had a. What's up?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, dude. My favorite thing that I watched that involved you this week was the Sick Drummer recording of you in the studio, dude. You're a machine, bro.
Those double bass.
You're a machine.
Oh, thanks,
Ridiculous.
Man. I was like, I was trying to find a little, popcorn here or something there. Nothing, dude. It was flawless, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's just a lot of practice. A lot of practice, man.
Yeah. That's the only way. There's got to be some natural talent. There's some natural genetic shit in there too. Because I was listening to that earlier, and I was like, "What the?" I was the same thing. Listening, I'm like, "Did fucking Ian edit this?" Like this. I was like, "This sounds like studio perfect." Like, for just Oh, here he is. How you doing, Ian?
It made me. I was very pumped when I was watching that, dudes. And before we keep going, let's do the whole plug thing. Oh, a quick little shout out to you guys last week. I know I popped in later, but that intro makes me giggle a lot. My
mountain internet's being mountainy right now.
Right.
So
if you want to know what I'm talking about, go back to last week's episode, and right in the beginning, you'll get a nice little chuckle. Battleforgecoffee.com, the homies in Deeds of Flesh. I say it every week. We want you to go get your coffee from them because it's quality stuff and it's underground death metal, dude. How cool is underground death metal bands making coffee now? So, get there and buy a shirt. See, shirts are hella comfortable. Still love mine today. GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com, Oceanside, California, where you would have seen that footage of To Violently Vomit yesterday. Actually, it's still up on the on our page, right? We kept it up there.
Yeah, but I'm uploading tonight the better audio version, but it's going to be a different camera angle anyway, so it's a completely different video, but it sounds 10 times better because it's not streamed on StreamYard specifically. So
but that's where you can also go if you're a SoCal band and go jam out there and maybe run into a member of the Cali death scene. What's the next one? I'm a week off and I forgot. All right, CaliDeathPodcast.bigcartel.com, the only place you can go and get a Cali Death t-shirt and help us promote by walking around and showing people our logo. And then the professor, professor's probably got some kind of show go buy that new Last of Lucy record, God Form. Yep. Support the professor and his homies that way. And then what else? Casey, you got anything you want to plug? Life, dude.
Merch.
Merch.
Just not our merch, just any merch. Just buy merch.
All merch, dude.
I think that's the plug. Dude. Just buy merch. All merch. No matter who's
just
merch.
Change your name to the merch. Buy merch podcast.
Cali Death merch, dude. Cali merch podcast.
It'd be funny if you sold a shirt that just said merch.
I saw one today. It's funny though. I saw
Dude.
it was called like generic t-shirts.com or something. It was just like it said band. It was all like there was like they just said like it said hat. One said hat. That was pretty funny. But it was a shirt.
That's so.
But you know, just
And it
wacky
was
shit
a
like
shirt.
that.
Pierce, where do you want
Pierce,
people to go for your to support your bands and find out everything Pierce Williams?
Aenigmatum.bandcamp.com. I believe Skeletal Remains is on all the big platform streaming services. Morecara.bandcamp.com. Lividus.bandcamp.com. We're all on Facebook. And
Yeah,
so-
just
you
to
got
make sure
quite
too,
a
because we
list of
we
bands.
miss this a lot though. We miss this a lot. Do you give lessons or anything?
yeah.
Okay, how can people
What do
get lessons from you?
Oh yeah, so if anybody wants to get in contact with me about lessons or anything, you can reach out to my Instagram as Pierce_Williams, or Pierce. My email is PierceWilliams678@yahoo.com.
Nice.
Right on.
We always miss
yeah,
that,
dude.
but that's like something really that could help a lot of shredding artists out. You know.
Yeah, go learn how to sound like a machine in the studio, dude.
Yeah, I think that's
No,
all my
it was very
socials and all my
impressive,
plugs and whatnot.
That
Yeah,
video was just super impressive.
Wow, thank you.
100%.
And yeah, it's like we're old school dudes. We're OGs now, so when we feel that old school vibe just from listening to your drums, but there's like a very like unique and modern addition to those old school sounding drums. We were talking like the Morbid Angel vibes and stuff like that. There's certain parts where I'm definitely getting some Morbid Angel vibes from you as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely grew up listening to them for sure. Pete Sandoval was a huge inspiration growing up.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's what I've always kind of tried to do with my drumming is, just pay homage to the stuff that I do like, and then put my own twist on it. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah, no,
nailed it. That's exactly how it is.
Exactly, because the one thing that I actually noticed, first thing I thought of when I listened to you was that Pete Sandoval double bass, like an opening of the gates, that this ridiculous double bass part that like freaked everyone out when that came out. And then seeing him do it live, it was like, yeah, it's it's a human. You don't want to be like, oh, it's like it's a human. But like hearing some of those bursts you were doing, I was like, that's actually a human doing it though. And I got that. That's the first thought I had, and I even texted the group back. I was like, dude, fucking, this is what Morbid. I don't want to say what I said. It was a little rough on Morbid Angels the last couple albums, but I mean, no, I like them. I'm just saying, I wish they kind of fell in line with what you guys were doing more, and like kind of kept that intensity going along the same. But still, that it was kind of it's those moments where you hear someone do something, you're like, what, and you have to like rewind it a few times, and man, those feet, Jesus Christ, I can't keep a 110 beat a minute double bass beat going because I'm not a drummer, but just understanding and seeing all the best drummers like have issue or not be able to get that perfect like that perfect 16th note going, or whatever the fuck you guys are doing. Just man, it was kind of just like, whoa, okay. I was like on the couch going like, all right, well, rewind. What was that? What was that?
I just itched my butt and hella sand just fell out of my crack, dude. Because I've been fucking.
That's basically what I'm trying to say. What Anthony just said. I was watching it and like sand fell out of my butt, dude.
All right, so let's go to the beginning, Pierce. So you always been in Portland, or where'd you grow up?
Yeah,
Where were you
I was
born?
born and raised in Portland. I've been here for 33 years. Never really lived anywhere else.
Yeah. And so 33, you were born what, 91?
Yeah, 91.
Oh, okay, right on. Talk a little bit about, becoming aware and conscious and what was going on in the house. What were your parents listening to? Exposure to music or art. When's like the earliest memory that you have of that?
For sure was my dad kind of piqued my interest in music. He's a piano player, and I grew up listening to him play piano all the time, whether it be
Sick.
soundtracks or classical music or just like anything he wanted to play. Um, I was really little when I got into music, but it took me forever to kind of get into drums because it took a really long time to convince my parents that I wanted to play drums. You know what I mean?
That's a common thing, dude.
Yeah.
Parents really don't want to bring in a drum set unless they're like kids super serious or they yeah, because nobody wants that kind of noise happening in the house all the time. So, but I understand like a sacrifice as a parent. If my kid really did show true interest in drums, I think I'd have to sack up and let it happen, But that's speaking from people who have been in the music community for so long.
You can be smart like my dad. My dad
Well-
was super smart, and he was like, how about you check this out, dude? Check this over here. He's old. Go over here and play this bass instead of drums.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I said was drums, and he's like, yeah, that's cool, but like, dude, bass, guitar is rad, dude. I don't know. You have to use manipulation, and then so you don't have to have the noise everywhere. I'm just kidding.
I kind of thought, but your dad was a bass player too, though, Joel, right?
Yeah. So he had that. That's what he had it.
There wasn't any part of him that was like, we could do a Horner rhythm section, dude.
No, I mean, we never crossed the. I mean, I was into two different styles of music. He was like breaking my. I mean, he was letting me have certain metal CDs and then breaking my Marilyn Manson CDs, and then like, and
That's
like
funny.
there was just two. But he was like down with most music I was listening to, like more of the aggressive stuff. But he was like, nope, no Marilyn Manson. He was already like, we were on two different paths. I was showing him stuff. My brother Andres was listening to crazier stuff. So it was just kind of like he's going down that road. Well, I'm not gonna want to jam with this guy. That's kind of where it was going.
So then Pierce was it, but that was the first instrument you actually wanted to play was drums. It wasn't. Did your dad teach you any piano or anything first?
No, I never learned like any piano or anything like that. I mean, I remember him playing all these classical pieces and like Star Wars stuff, and
Sick.
I remember just like really being into classical music and jazz and all this stuff when I was a young kid. He would also like take me around cruising in his Corvette, playing like Frank Valli and the Four Seasons and like Elvis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff I was like really into that like when I was a young kid, but yeah, nobody like pushed me towards drums. It was more just my own inclination to play that instrument,
That's cool that your dad was exposing you to all that earlier stuff, because I went through that same thing with the doo-wop and Beach Boys, and I've mentioned so many times that, like having that being exposed to that at such a young age, and I still love it today, dude. There's some stuff that could drive me to tears still, dude.
Yeah, I love all that shit, dude. It's good music, and like I'll put it on every now and then just to like be in a better mood or headspace. It's just like, especially if it's summertime, like Beach Boys is really awesome to listen to.
It's perfect, and it's kind of a trip, like how talented they were too. I know that we had a Stratosphere on, and that's their like pretty much most of the guys' number one influence was like the Beach Boys, like and they're like. Yeah, exactly. And all like their chord progression and stuff like that. What was do you remember, Casey, what he was like super excited about?
I used to teach at a school, and they did God Only Knows, and I was like playing bass, and it was all these kids singing, and there was like a music director lady, and I was just I was like, this song is a trip, man. Like it's like all the key changes and the like descending. It's like the giant steps of Beach Boys songs, like or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
I think Tim also tripped out on like all the vocal harmonies and the vocal layers and stuff. So awesome. Trippy.
They do bring you to like, especially being from Santa Cruz. Like, I mean, obviously we have the boardwalk here, and they're just playing Beach Boys 24/7. But it does bring me like, I get like a visual of the beach when I hear the Beach Boys. So we're just like chilling, like having a good time, not stressing.
And Tim talking about the Smile sessions too. That was something, because like the Beach Boys, I was a little bit below the surface on them, but then when I listened to the Smile sessions, dude, I was like, what is this, dude? This is totally like a new version of a band that I love my whole life, and I never fully dove into it enough to realize how sick they were.
They're fucking awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Was there like is there like a more obscure the stuff that Tim was talking about? There's like a more obscure side of the Beach Boys or something.
That's the Smile
Or-
session.
That's Smile.
Okay,
yeah.
That's one
I haven't-
he was
I need to listen to
yeah,
that.
he was citing that quite a bit, and that just made me have to go in and listen to it. And I think God Only Knows is on that too, or no,
Oh,
Good
is it?
Vibrations.
I don't-
Which Good Vibrations
Oh.
is a killer fucking song
Oh.
too.
Which record is it?
Smile.
The Smile Sessions.
I think it's just
called the
Smile. Is the
Sessions.
it's not the album's not called Smile.
Well, I think there's an official album called Smile, but then there's the Smile Sessions, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
probably
yeah.
like other stuff
I've
that
pulled it up.
recorded during that session that didn't make it on the full album.
Who's the
Gosh.
famous actor that's playing guitar with them right now? There's
I
a
don't know.
famous actor.
Wasn't what's his name from Full House? Uncle Joey.
Yeah, Full House.
No, not
Yeah,
Uncle Joey,
he's-
Uncle,
Yeah, it's Joey. Or not Joey.
Is it?
The Greek guy,
Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse.
Oh.
Uncle Jesse.
He
What's his
plays in
real
the
name?
Beach Boys.
He plays
Oh,
the
Famous,
guitar.
Yeah.
He plays guitar for the fucking Beach Boys right now. Like
The
I was
heck?
listening to a
Really?
podcast. He's like, and they were
Drums for them too, dude.
he was talking about the Beach Boys a bunch, and I'm like, why is he keep? I was like, we were driving to Sacramento or something. This like Beach Boys got brought up like a million
Damn.
times, and I just Googled it while we were driving. It's like, yeah, he's a little
John
live.
Stamos.
Yeah, John Stamos is a live guitar player for fucking
That
Beach
is
Boys right now.
random.
Like right
didn't
now
know
he
that.
is. Like
Random as hell.
on the tour right now he is. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know he could play. Like you're beautiful and you can play guitar on the Beach Boys. Fuck
I
you,
was just
John
about to say
Stamos.
he's definitely probably the
He's-
most attractive
what?
dude in the band now.
Oh yeah, he's endorsed by Zildjian. What is going on?
Shit.
Oh, is he?
Yes,
I swear I saw
Ian,
him
and
playing
he played
guitar.
drums with them, right? Ian, did you already say that? I didn't see you pop up.
Beach Boys,
Stamos, did
John
he play
Stamos.
drums for them? I mean, if Ian's popping in, I'm sure he was drumming.
Yeah,
But he's
I'm
been doing
pulling
that
up
for
pictures.
years.
I've been
I
pulling.
don't know.
I didn't know he was doing that for years. That's crazy. He's on like a full. He was talking about like a festival he did on this podcast with like fucking like Tom Segura or something, and was like, "Yeah, dude, like I played the craziest 100,000 person festival yesterday," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you played?" Like, and I had no idea that was. And Mark
Yeah.
McGrath from Sugar Ray came up, and then they called Mark McGrath on this podcast, but yeah, it's a weird fucking world
Sure.
we're living in. Where like fucking Uncle Jesse's like playing in Beach Boys now,
Crossovers.
like all these
Yeah.
crossing streams. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Jesus. Let me see. Oh, it's
All
right
right,
here. I'll
so
show
back to you, Pierce. Let's talk. So, like, what age were you when you were trying to get them to? Oh, he is playing guitar. Sure.
you. I just had to
But
put it
why
on
is he
real quick.
sponsored by Zildjian? I think he first. Okay, we should stop talking about John Stamos because this is a death metal podcast. But I think his first run with the Beach Boys was on drums, dude. Why do I,
I
think
mean, if he-
drums?
They were on
You
it.
said
The
drums.
Full House.
Yeah.
I want to say.
He has toured them
Yeah.
for like 30 years.
Dude,
What the fuck is going on?
drumming.
My brain.
What up?
This is a weird.
Right on.
it's a
Ian,
fever
Ian's
dream.
got my back.
This is a fever dream.
I'm so confused right now.
I know.
Well, all right, let's get out of the confusion. Let's get on to Pierce. So, what age was it when you were trying to convince him to get a drum set?
Oh man, probably around 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I saw the Moby Dick drum solo by John Bonham, and then
Fuck
after
yeah.
that is when I like really wanted to do it. But they got me, instead of getting me a real drum set, they got me my parents got me a like electronic kit from like Toys R Us or something like that back when
Yeah.
that was around. And that's what I had for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or so.
To make
And it
sure you're
didn't
serious about it.
What's that?
Make sure you're serious about it when they're gonna.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they
it's
invest.
It didn't work like I don't know, after about 6 months, but it was still down in the basement, and I would like go down there and just still hit on it, you know what I mean?
Treat
Yeah,
it
yeah.
as practice pads. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I want to say when I was like 11 or 12, my uncle gave me a book of rudiments and a practice pad. And
Your dad's brother or your mom's brother?
it was my mom's like great uncle. So yeah, he was like my
Okay.
uncle or something like that. But yeah, He gave me that when I was like 11 or 12, and I pretty much memorized that book at the time. I think it was either Syncopation or just a random rudiments book. But I played on that pad for I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, and then I think on my 12th or 13th birthday is when my parents actually got me a drum set.
What did they choose? What did they go for?
It was a brand called Argent.
Okay.
It was just kind of a starter brand, and I had that till I was about 18, and then when I got a job and graduated high school and whatever, I saved up to get a Mapex. I think it was a 6-piece, 2 racks, 2 floors, and then from there I just kept building up.
So when you got the first actual kit, do you remember your first song you nailed and you were high from it?
Oh man, it was definitely like a Sepultura or Metallica song for sure.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Well, also like I don't know, I was jamming to like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that because I really loved like Mitch Mitchell's drumming.
Totally, dude. Yeah.
Iron Maiden, like I was jamming stuff like that when I was like 12, 13.
Nice.
Sick.
And then I found out about death metal through my my 8th grade social studies teacher.
Damn.
Sick.
He gave me, I think, Cannibal Corpse. He gave me Sepultura, like the heavier, older stuff. And then he gave me, I think his favorite band was Slayer, so he gave me a few Slayer CDs and like Obituary and stuff like that. And then once I heard like a blast beat, it was pretty much like history. You know what I mean?
Dude.
He was teaching you metal
I was
history. Yeah.
His name was Mark.
Exactly, dude.
He came out to a few shows I've played actually.
Oh yeah, sick. That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's super cool, dude. We've heard so many different influences, but never a social studies teacher. That's definitely number one.
Yeah.
I was already into death metal, but we did have an art teacher that had he would have a booklet of burned CDs that he would put the covers on, and they'd be all sick. And he sold them for $5 a piece to fund the art department.
Oh, cool.
And dude, there was like, I'd buy Dimmu Borgir from Old Man's Child, fucking At the Gates. Yeah, he had like all the sick shit, dude. I was like, every week I'd be going in there, you got something new, you know? Spending my lunch money on fucking
cool
death metal
loophole.
CDs.
It was
Cool
kind of cool. Like after we graduated, not graduate, after we like, moved on to high school from 8th grade, me and my buddies would like kind of like trade CDs with him because, when we were in 9th grade, that's when I got him introduced to like bands like Odious Mortem, Severed Savior, Decrepit Birth, basically a lot of the Bay Area, like brutal death metal bands. At that time, 2003, 2004. And so I found out about all these sick bands, and then I like traded him for like all the more old school stuff. It was kind of weird how we like kind of lost touch after high school, and then through Facebook I found him again. But without him, man, honestly, like, I mean, I'm sure I would have found out about the death metal and continue to play the music I play now. But like, he got me into it at a very young age. So like for him,
dude,
I would have like,
that's awesome.
Do that for a kid. It was like really cool because
it's got to be a
proud
moment
about him,
finding you later on and seeing that you're not only way still into metal, but you're playing it and you're touring and recording. That's got to be a super proud moment for that dude. What was his name?
His name is Mark Zimbaum. He's came out to a few shows, so it's like really he was like front stage and like just headbanging stuff. Like cool,
It's full circle.
Rad.
That's really cool to see that where it started, and then like seeing like him out in front, just like getting down. You're like, holy shit! That's super cool. It's gotta be one of the cooler moments.
Side note, Joel, your video looks really good right now. Looks better than.
Oh no, I got a light. I got a light.
Oh, okay.
So watch.
I was like, yeah, that's what I'm used to right there.
So I got a light, dude. I'm good. I got a light.
So let's rewind a little bit and talk about the first people that you met who had similar interests in music. Did you meet any friends through music, like being into metal and all that shit, or did you find it together? I mean, once you become friends, you guys find stuff together. But talk about like, yeah, meeting a like-minded metalhead and becoming friends with them.
Yeah, I mean, one of my oldest friends, like obviously naturally we just had the same inclinations to death metal and heavy music, skateboarding, graffiti, like all that stuff we did together. We never like started an actual band, but we did jam. You know, he knew a few creative riffs, and you know, we just did like some cover songs. But I never joined a like real band until I was out of high school. I think I was like 18 or 19. I joined a band called Genocide, and that was when things were just, it was all original material. But me and Mason, we jammed a handful of times. Basically, though, I would honestly just jam with my headphones in and just play to the music that I wanted to. My brother and I would jam on occasion here and there, but yeah, like I said, I just always plugged in my headphones and, you know, jammed out to Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, Decrepit Birth, just like really learned how to do the death metal style of drums just by trying to copy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hell yeah,
Only
dude.
brother, or you got more siblings?
Yeah, so I'm the middle child. I got an older brother and a younger brother.
All three boys. And was it the older brother that you were jamming with, or the younger?
It's the younger brother. He's actually probably watching this right now. But yeah, he's in the band. He's actually in the band that I first joined. It's a different band now, but some of the same members and whatnot. But yeah, growing up, never really jammed with anybody besides myself. And then once I graduated high school is when I started just reaching out to people and then jamming that way.
When did you start going to shows?
Probably like 13, 14. I think my first show was like my first real heavy show was like Dimmu Borgir and Behemoth, I think.
Nice.
And I was like 13 or 14, and that was the first time I saw, you know, a real black metal band or death metal band or whatever, you know. That was pretty life-changing because, I mean, Behemoth back in like 2003, 4, that era of Behemoth specifically was like, I think it was like right around Demigod. I just remember that being like some of the most heaviest shit I've ever heard, you know.
Totally.
And their stage presence, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and you know, it was pretty intimidating to watch as like a 13-year-old kid. You see him burning the Bible and whatever on the stage, and like, it's like
yeah. I remember, so Casey and I we played a show out with them. Sorry about that. I'm probably lagging. But like we played a show in the Netherlands with them, and our road crew was their road crew too. So like they were like, "Hey, you can stand on stage. It's all good." And like I was sitting there, and they were like all serious. Like it was probably 2009, 2008, something like that, in the Netherlands, and they were
this
like,
"This wasn't Behemoth. This is Dimmu.
This is I was talking about Behemoth.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dimmu Borgir. Sorry.
No, but like dude was like, I remember like them just like sound checking. Like the guitar player was standing next to me, and their sound, and I just got stage. We played Decrepit with Origin was playing too. Had a bunch of friends there, and like they were just like, he's all, give me guitar. He's like, give me guitar. He's all like fucking like clowning him and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? And then like they get up there, and then the whole time Inferno is just fucking staring at me, just blasting the whole time with like this like light hitting his like face, and like where I can only see, it looks just scary as fuck. Like the scariest metal experience I've ever had. Just like he's just like staring at me the whole time, and I'm just like, oh my! And then he ripped up the Bible and lit it on fire and threw it in the audience or whatever. And like I remember right around that time, he like got thrown in jail, or was like getting threatened to being thrown in jail for that or something. Because certain countries are like, no, you don't do that here. And he was really pushing. Yeah, he was pushing the envelope of that stuff. He was on the cover of Time magazine in like Poland or something. Like, dude was like,
really?
Yeah. But I remember just their confidence and watching it from behind, like right next to him, and just like the fucking commanding of the stage. I was like, It's one of those like moments where you just played right before them, but you're just like, "Fuck, dude, I'm a bitch." It sucks, you know. Like I was scared shitless in front of all these people, and they're just like, "Fuck," like totally like commanding. And
I imagine it'd be a tough act to follow for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a Guar act. So it's like, oh, cool. Guar brought like 9 things to eat live, and like have like 15 different I think we played in Halloween with Guar one time or at some festival. And I was like, why are we even here, dude? Like, they just completely like it was funny. It was like a full stage show. It was like a performance. It was like like a comedy piece, a metal piece, a punk piece, like all these things they just did. I was like, dude, we were just standing there kind of moving around a little bit. Like they were bringing out monsters to like eat celebrities. Everyone's laughing. They're squirting blood on everyone. And I'm just like, fuck, this is like embarrassing to go like next to Guar. I don't even want to. But yeah, there's a certain people that just have that confidence in that stage show where it's just like, why they should just be alone. Like I don't know why there's other bands here. This is ridiculous.
I guess you could be like that more if you wore a mask, though, Joel. You can hide and do whatever the fuck you want.
Just play for Decrepit and have like a Corey Slipknot mask on. Everyone be like, what the fuck? Just confuse people. But anyways, back on topic.
I have terrible
All right,
lighting.
what do you got? No, you're good, dude.
Oh, he's getting lighting sensitive. No, I know. I bought this light. This light's sick, dude. I'm stoked that I have light. Even though like
no, it looks good.
light in your eyes kind of sucks, but
Yeah. All right.
where
So
are we at?
I know we fast forward. We got to 18, 19 when you first joined the band and all that stuff. But going to shows, so 13, 14, then it just like snowballed from there, like for everybody else, right? Once you get that experience, dude.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said once you get the live experience, it's like you're done. You're locked in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I
Because
remember.
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't. I was just gonna keep trailing, so just cut.
I was just gonna say, I remember the first show I ever played. It was in front of 5 fucking people, and I was nervous as hell, dude. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
It was harder.
Playing, definitely, I got hit up, and you know, a lot more. My name started getting out in the scene, and yeah, pretty much, like, pretty soon I was in like 5 or 6 bands at the time. And obviously, you know, had to cut some later in the future, but yeah, right around 18 or 19 is when I started playing live, and it hasn't really slowed down since.
Yeah, pretty much when your drummer's in 5 or 6 bands, it's because he's really good, and you should just count the months until he's gonna get a project that actually works and he can make a living off of.
Yeah,
man. It's also like the economy of metal musicians, you know. That's why we're so incestuous in this scene, because it's hard to find good players. So we are okay with sharing members if they're okay with it too. And drummers tend to be the ones that are usually in the most bands because of that exact reason, you know.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm only in 2 like active bands, but I do session work pretty consistently, and you know, done some fill-in work here and there. I'm still getting offers. I just need to figure out my schedule.
I saw that. I saw that on your thing, Vitriol, right? You said Vitriol on your thing.
Yeah, I filled in for them on like 2021, I think.
Okay. Okay.
I had 6 weeks to learn that set. It was pretty intense.
Damn.
Dude.
I wouldn't want to learn the new stuff. That stuff is crazy, man.
So how do you attack stuff like that? Because I've been in similar situations like Decrepit. I had like 2 weeks, but I like knew the songs already in my head, kind of. So I already knew all the changes and stuff. But like when you get tasked with something like that, where it's like, all right, do you want to do and also too at the same time you have to like, you don't want to bum anyone out in the band, or like fuck anything up. So there's like that extra pressure too. Like, what's your routine now? I know with Gabe Sieber's like one of my best friends. It's like watching him jump in a million bands. We'd just drive forever, and he'd listen to the album like 17 fucking times, and just be like, we're like, all right, I get it, you have to do this, but like, fuck, dude, we're going to LA or whatever, and it's just like constant playing the album. Is that kind of like where you get started? Is just like getting everything mastered in your head and then learning piece by piece?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was already a fan of the band before I got hit up.
Awesome.
But yeah, honestly, for any job I take or whatever, whether it be session work or like live gigs or whatever, I if it's not my own material that I don't write, like I just make myself a chart, and I'll make little notes throughout. But the quickest way for me is to make a chart. I go into the studio, work on everything for about 8 or 9 hours a day, and
Yeah.
I have the ability to record everything. So that's
Listen back.
actually all I do is I record it till it's as close to what I heard on the record. Because for me, if I get hired for a job, I like to have it. I know it's not going to be exactly like what's on the record, but I prefer to have the 90% of the same fills or the same feel, just
Mhm.
because that's what the audience is used to. And
Right.
for me, being a drummer, if I hear a certain drum fill that I know is on the record, but if a drummer's not playing it live, I'll be like, kind of bummed out. Be like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah. You're waiting for it, and they fucking.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. It never happens. So I just go into the studio, look at my charts, re-listen to it as many times as I need, and then I record myself playing it, and then just play it till it's perfected. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect,
So,
but as close
Seaver,
to
It's awesome.
when he was talking about his approach and listening to
Gabe's.
the albums over and over and over, he was talking about how it would be hard to like get excited about music after those grueling sessions. Do you still, when you're doing that 6-week thing and then you get it and you go out on tour, does it feel more robotic with less emotion, or do you still find a way to be excited to play what you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, I can see where that's a thing. I mean, there's definitely a point where it's like, oh shit, like I'm playing the song again. But like,
It's fatigue.
I mean, once you're on tour, you have to play the same thing over and over, and I guess you kind of got to find little ways to spice it up every night to make it so you're not bored. Whether you do, whether you play a certain accent on a hi-hat compared to a tom or a crash or whatever, just choosing different voicings with the same sticking patterns, that's an easy way to mix it up and like still get the same vibe out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's like what I tend to do if I find myself getting like bored of it.
Mhm.
For the most part, playing live on stage is really fun for me, and I mean, if I don't think I'm ever really bored, you know what I mean?
Nice.
There's definitely nights where I'm like tired, but I don't know. It's weird. After playing the set, I'll be jacked and just ready to do anything.
Just forcing
Yeah.
yourself to kind of accomplish that shit when you're fucking not feeling it, and then you did it, and then you're just kind of like a workout,
Yeah, and like when I'm in the studio, I'll try to experiment with as many different ways to play the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it totally does.
It mainly has to do a lot with the different voicings with the same hand patterns or kick patterns. But I think for me, ultimately, to make it more fun and interesting is just choosing a different voicing.
And that's cool. You're so locked into what you're playing that you have the opportunity to, or you're so comfortable with what's coming in your stick patterns that you're like, well, I'll just mix it up. And actually, that was actually going to lead me to a question. Have you ever, like, how many times? Not how many times. You don't have to give me a number, but like, you play something completely like different. It's the same stick pattern, different cymbals, different drums, whatever the fuck you decide to do instead of what the actual part is. Where the band's like, dude, do that now. It seems like that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say for a lot of that stuff, when I stumble across something that I really like, I'll actually just make that the thing.
The thing.
Until I find something. Yeah, until I find something like, I want to say there's a few Skeletal songs that I did up for the record, and then playing it live is a different feel, And I think I can't remember which song it is, but there's one certain fill that I always play the exact same no matter what, because it's just like that's it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. That's cool to have that little bit of creative freedom.
Yeah.
While under the the scope of a band, like you're so comfortable with the patterns and stuff that you're like, I'll fuck with it a little bit right now. Like just right before it happens, probably, right? Is that probably when you're thinking about it? You're like,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as long as I'm in time, I don't really see what the big difference is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
As long as I'm
exactly.
in time, I try to see as many different ways as I can, like to make it interesting and fun. You know.
That's super
yeah.
cool.
So let's talk about like the first real serious band you started dealing with, like where there's business involved, tours and shit like that.
First like legitimate band, I want to say probably like Blood Freak.
Okay.
Okay.
That was I think my first initial like debut album, I guess, as far as being on a record label. I think it was Unique Leader who put out the record I was on.
Oh, nice.
I know the band before I joined had toured, and I was really excited. But during the times that I was in that band, we never toured. So I want to say that was like kind of the first serious one. We were playing with a lot of bigger name bands in the underground scene. My other band, Torture Act, that I was in at the time, we also played like Maryland Death Fest. I was on guitar in that band. But I want to say, yeah, around 23, 22 is when things started to get a little bit more serious for me.
Did you say you were on guitar with that band?
Yeah, Torture Act. I started that when I was like 22, 23. I broke my leg skateboarding and just couldn't play drums. So I had some riffs on the guitar, and then my roommates at the time came down and we had a jam space. And
yeah, but did you? So you had riffs on guitar, but was guitar part of your repertoire? As far as like were you playing like back alongside of drums a little bit, or were you just only...
No, man, I honestly learned the guitar just because I couldn't play drums past a certain point in high school. So I learned a lot of death songs. I learned just a ton of early 90s death metal songs on guitar. So that's really the only sort of stuff I know how to play. Besides like the stuff I write for Aenigmatum or whatever, but I as far as like knowing chords or scales, I don't really know. Like, I can't play. If somebody's asking me to play a C sharp chord, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that is.
But don't you think that like, I was gonna say, like, as far as like having the rhythmic section down in your brain and then writing riffs, that definitely I would assume help, right? That
yeah,
at least because there's not like most death metal songs aren't like gotta stick in this key, dude. You gotta stay in this key, motherfucker. It's like a lot of it's not like that with death metal. So having just the rhythmic part of death metal down in your brain and then writing guitar on top of it that's probably a little bit of a leg up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a rhythm guitar player. I never learned how to shred or do any sort of lead licks or anything like that. But I started writing all my own songs when I was like 15 or 16. And then that kind of later turned into Aenigmatum, which is one of the other bands that I started after the disbandment of Blood Freak. And yeah, I started writing those songs when I was like 15 or 16. And for me, that's just like whatever comes out. And a lot of it's...
How different is the first versions as a 15-year-old to what it became for that band? Is there some songs that may have, stayed pretty much the same, or did you, revamp everything for the band?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think a lot of the structure was the same, but the guitarists, added their own flavor to the riffs. And for me, as long as the melody's there, all the rhythms are like, to me, that's what matters is the rhythms and the melodies when I'm writing for that stuff. But yeah, the guitarists would put their own signature on it, and yeah.
Were you doing vocals to that stuff too back in the day?
No. I never did too much vocals. I actually suck at vocals. So yeah, I leave that to someone else.
Give us your best growl, dude. I'm just kidding.
Oh man, I used to do that shit standing outside as when I was like 16, 17 as a
Yeah.
sign holder. That was like one of my first jobs as a teenager, you know. It was like holding a sign for a pizza place or whatever, and like would sing along to Cannibal Corpse, and yeah, just.
Did you do all
But your headphones are just blasting. You don't even know if
Yeah,
you're sounding
headphones
good
are
at all.
blasting, you know, just there with the sign, just saying lyrics.
You're like,
Did you do any like flip tricks and shit like that? For people
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
I wish I did, but no, I didn't do any of that shit.
That would be
Yeah, it's like
fun.
a sign holding job. When you see someone taking a sign holding job to like the extreme, you're like, all right, dude, like, calm the fuck down. Like
Yeah,
if someone's like, this is my
yeah.
skill.
I mean, that's just drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty young, but yeah, I would. That's where I would like, you know, practice my guttural vocals back in the day, you know, because.
Oh yeah.
Well, I used to just set up a mic in front of me, and I just would never use it for backup vocals because I was like, playing Odious. I'm like, the riff would be hard. I'm like, nah. I'm not gonna do it. I was like,
There was actually a band I did backup vocals for. It was a band called Dead in the Ditch, and I did just the low gutturals. But I don't know, playing drums and doing vocals at the same time is pretty fucking hard.
So what you're saying is you can do low gutturals.
Man, do it.
I mean, probably not anymore, but you know, 10 years ago when I was like actually trying, yeah, probably.
Then for me, it was like the technique was always bad. I remember just like doing it and like wanting to like cough right off the mic. It was like pushing my vocal cords to the point where I was like, yeah, it sounds good for 6 seconds, and then like I'm gonna start like having to cough because my technique was so terrible. That's like the one thing with death metal vocals is like there's a hidden talent in actually longevity using the diaphragm, all those things in there, and I'm just like I can't, I won't, I suck.
A lot of good death metal vocalists out there. It's pretty crazy.
No, there is
Who's,
amazing.
I can't come up with the name off the dome, but I know that there is some bands that have sick drummers that also do vocals. What's a good example of one of those bands? You guys think of one?
Oh, dude, I think a band we were just on tour, No Moss, their drummer was doing vocals also. They're like a grindy band. Pretty sick band.
Hell yeah. I'll check it out.
Dismal Lapse.
Yeah, I can't think of too many off the bat.
Oh yeah, Dismal Lapse, dude. Chris was fucking doing vocals. I can't even think about it. He was just on like 6 hours.
There's a band, god damn it. Yeah, I don't, it's a, fuck. Yeah. Anyways, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it was, they played with Gorgasm, sick story, Joel. But, fucking, god damn, whenever I have anything to drink, I can't remember names, it pisses me off, but he passed away. It's the, fuck, it's where Ivan met his wife. There was like Ivan tried to stab someone.
What?
No, I told you the story. It starts with a C, not conforming or whatever. I can't think of it. So, Colonize the Rotting. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ.
I was ready for you to see that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Damn.
Like I went to a couple shows with them. Just like they were like one of those bands that was like a party band, and they're just like, "Hey Joel, like are you working this weekend?" I'm like, "No." They're all just jump in the van and we go to like a festival and just fucking party the whole way driving there for like 7 hours, and then get there. And it's probably one of the funner memories I've had with just like, I know touring has been fun, but like just jumping in a van, being like, fuck it, just going in a van, just fucking raging your ass off. And yeah, R.I.P. That was good times. Anyways, you guys like sports or whatever? Or?
No. No. I like wind. I just played a little golf a couple days ago. What up?
Oh, dude. Anthony. So Anthony was raised playing golf, and he was like, "Hey, meet me at Top Golf." And I went there and met him at Top Golf. And I suck at golf, obviously. I've swung like 9 times in my life. And like, just like, I was like missing. And Anthony's dad like raised him playing golf and shit. Like,
yeah.
And Anthony was so drunk that he was missing the ball, and his dad was just back there just going like, "What the fuck, Anthony? What the fuck?" Like, all pissed off. And I was laughing so hard that the disappointment in the dad versus
Yeah.
like Sun Swing was cracking. It's like that is the
I can play
silliest thing.
high the whole time, dude. But as soon as I involve the beer, dude, it's done. I lose it.
Just the
It's like I'm
disappointment in your
trying. It's
father
your
was
first time
hilarious,
trying.
dude.
I've never played.
Yeah, because he probably
Yeah,
laughed.
I've never played a full game.
just putt
Oh,
putt.
dude.
Just trying to hit the ball. Just trying to hit the ball. Like I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and everyone's watching me. It's like, when you go bowling, like all you have to do is roll a ball. It's like not that difficult to roll a ball. But then like, oh, come to Top Golf, and like you have to like line up a thing and like hit this tiny ball like all fast and shit. And I was like, dude, this takes years of fucking practice. And then you were fucking up. I'm like, thank God you're fucking up. Because I had like they were like, I was like swinging. They were just like, yeah, well, you sucks. It's fine. And then you went up and you started
I was
missing.
so fucking hammered that night, though, dude. We were drinking a lot. We got pictures, didn't we?
Oh yeah. That was one of the hardest I've laughed seeing like your dad just going like, I've taught you how to play better than that. And you're just missing the ball, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, fucking death metal, bro. All right. I got like a few more minutes, and I'm gonna have to get off. So let's get this thing back on track. First, so we talked about the serious bands and stuff. Talk about your first time ever going out on full scale tour.
That was definitely when I joined Skeletal Remains. I think that was when was that? 2021. Right after everything kind of opened up, I think we went on tour with Municipal Waste and Crowbar, and that was the first legit tour I've ever done. Learned a lot for sure. Learned what not to pack and what to pack, all that good stuff. I think we were out for like 4.5 weeks, something like that. But yeah, that was the first full blown tour that I've ever done.
So it was kind of like
I definitely
kind of like with
too much shit on my first tour as well.
Yeah, it was like with we got Black Dahlia Murder, so it was like, but we were like a nothing band, like, and just thrown into like a professional tour. So I kind of feel like what you're saying is like, kind of like what I'm kind of getting to is just like, you're like, yeah, I got this, dude, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I have to learn like so much real quick, like what not to do, what to do, like certain tricks of the trade to not look like an idiot on stage, and like just thrown to the wolves a little bit, but that helps.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think it took a little longer than I expected to like do tours and stuff like that. Like by the time I was 23, 24, I was like, I thought I was ready to go, However, the bands I was playing in at the time and the people I was hanging around with, I guess just never got around to touring. So I don't know. I felt stuck like in Portland. It just felt like the curse of the local band. You know what I mean? It just like we would always play 6 shows, but we never took it anywhere else besides Portland. So for the longest time in my 20s, I was, I just kind of felt defeated, and I was like, well, maybe like touring isn't for me, and maybe it's never going to happen. But Skeletal Remains hit me up in 2020, right before the shutdown, and then they hit me up to do all the European tours and festivals for that was planned that year. But we had to put that off because of all the shutdowns and all that good stuff, which sucked, but it gave me a long time to learn a lot of their catalog. I think I learned all of the new record before it was finished. So, I had Charlie's drum tracks to learn the new songs because we were going to promote the new record while we were touring.
So you're ready to go.
Yeah, man, I was ready to go for touring for like the last 10 years. And then up until, when I was 29 or 30, that's when it kind of hit, and it all hit at once. I think we've been gone pretty much every 3 to 4 months within the last 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
And we've covered a lot of ground. Trying to think of how many tours and countries we played, but the 2021 and 2022 year were just insanely packed with shows.
Yeah.
I think we played like 4 or 5 continents. We went to Australia, went to Europe, played Hellfest, like did a bunch of cool shit.
Damn.
It's kind of weird. Like I packed like I would say all of the years that I missed out on touring in just like the span of a few months. You know what I mean?
Sick. That's rad, dude.
Because we were.
Was it
yeah,
everything you thought it would be? Was it everything that you thought it would be? Like, because, you know, hyping it up for that long and then getting there. What was that like?
It was and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, there was definitely things I expected that happened, and then there was obviously the unexpected stuff that you don't expect to happen. I definitely learned a lot within the short amount of time, and like, yeah, every tour, I learned something new, what to bring, what not to bring, stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, it was everything that I wanted. It's just like surreal when it all happens so fast. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think that, I mean, just from the time lost from the shutdown, I think everybody wanted to hit the ground running as soon as they could, you know. As far as the shutdown, is that when you started doing lessons? Because I mean, that was kind of a common way to make some side cash as a, you know, a musician who can't tour, you know.
Yeah, I would say I've been teaching lessons for the last like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I was teaching lessons at Guitar Center, I think, before the shutdown happened. Maybe it was after. I can't really recall. But yeah, I've been teaching on and off for the last 10 years. Right now, I have a few clients that are, you know, hitting me up again now that I'm back from tour. Just got back a few days ago, so I'm still kind of like drowsy and, you know, catching up on sleep and whatnot. But yeah, I would say for 10 years, just on and off with teaching. After COVID and the pandemic, that's when I really took the dive into audio engineering and recording, because
nice.
I bought all my equipment like right before the shutdown. I think I got like all my taxes back because I did them super early. And so I was like, I just went on a, you know, shopping spree at the local music shop and got all this stuff. And then, you know, 2 or 3 weeks later, COVID hit. And so I just went to the studio for 9 or 10 hours a day and just tried to absorb as much as I could.
Any clients that you had that were like more impressive than you thought they would be after, you know, spending time with them?
For lessons?
Yeah, like any clients that stand out in your mind that you're like, whoa, this dude picked it up, or he's already got it, you know?
Yeah, it was this 12-year-old girl. She was insanely smart and incredibly bright, and she picked up so many awesome drum grooves that I showed her. I had a few books, and, you know, I would show her the like different combos of hand patterns and rudiments and stuff like that. But where she really thrived was, you know, learning all the funk stuff that I was studying with her, like Clyde Stubblefield, James Brown type stuff.
Nice. Awesome.
Parliament, you know, Dennis Chambers type stuff. And she picked up like Mother Popcorn super quick.
Nice.
Just like really fun stuff to play on drums. She, like, you know, that was really syncopated. She picked up really quick, and she's probably the best student I've ever had.
That's rad, dude.
So
yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I guess she just played her like her first Canada show like a year or so ago. So it's really cool to see, you know, a younger kid doing it, you know.
Totally, dude.
That's really
all
cool.
Right, guys.
It's probably
I gotta leave. I gotta leave. But Pierce, I wish I could stay the whole time, dude. But, you know, I only got one more day of Hawaiian sun before I gotta fly back, dude.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna barbecue up some food. But dude, you're a cool cat, dude. I'm glad I got to spend at least this time with you, and let's stay in touch, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, enjoy the rest of your vacation, brother.
Yeah, dude, have fun, man. Enjoy
Most
it.
definitely. Rock on to the resident homies. I always love doing it with you guys every week. I'll be back in the studio next week for a very awesome and special one. This one's awesome and special too, though, Pierce.
Yeah, jeez, don't say jeez. Jerk.
Well, people will understand once
He's
they
in
know.
Hawaii. He's all jazzed up.
He's all Hawaiianed out. He's a little drinking a bunch of Mai Tais.
Gotta wear a Hawaiian shirt
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
Are you wearing one right now? No, I was just wearing a
no. But,
Go drink some Battle Forge coffee and sober up, Anthony. Over there.
hell yeah, nah, dude, I'm in Hawaii. I'm drinking Kona coffee this week, bro. Come on.
Oh, that's right.
Dang.
No,
Is
you
that the one
gotta-
where
you gotta
the
do
monkeys
what you
poop it
gotta
out?
No, dude, that's I forget what that's called, but it's
Ethiopian's coffee or something.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, everybody
All
in
right,
the
brother.
chat, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. And the resident homies will take it from here. Pierce, we'll keep in touch, and
Later,
I'll
man.
see you guys next week.
Hell yeah, man. Take it easy, brother. Love you, bud.
There we go.
Later, dude.
Later, man.
Later.
Aloha.
We are in your living room bedroom.
Sorry. Fuck yeah. So no, that's definitely like it's kind of trippy to me to someone just to get the perspective of someone that's been dreaming to tour for so long and then they get on tour. And then so I know you said there's some things you didn't expect, some things you did. What were the things you were kind of like, fuck, I didn't know it was like this? Like, without throwing anyone to the bus or being, but like what?
Give us specifics. Come on.
I
Yeah,
guess
yeah. Tell us names, people you hate.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm just
We
I
kidding.
want
guess-
names. We want.
No, probably just the fact that when you're a kid or when you're in your early 20s, you're not really thinking of the gear situations in another country. So
Yeah.
if you don't have a rental kit, the fact that you're playing on a new kit every single night, stuff like that was like
Mhm.
for me, I play a pretty big drum set now, and it's kind of it's not a huge challenge to play on a smaller kit, but the fact that like most of it is muscle memory for me at this point, it is
Yeah.
somewhat underwhelming when you get a smaller kit to play. Obviously, it's fine. I'll do what I can to make it work.
Mhm.
I enjoy the challenge, but yeah, it's like stuff like that when you first experience that it's just a little underwhelming because you're like,
Well, how's as a non-drummer, like let's say they have a smaller kit for you with like less toms or whatever it is. Have you ever found yourself like air drumming to the toms that aren't there?
yeah, like honestly, because like I said, it's all like muscle
Yeah.
memory. There's
Yeah.
certain it's like something as small as like moving the hi-hat stand like 2 inches to the left, 2 inches to the
Yeah.
right. Something that small can like really affect at least for me the way I play, because I have my certain likings, you know what I mean, as
Yeah.
every drummer and every musician does,
That I mean, I could see that being like a level of stress, knowing that's gonna be different, but also
yeah,
like
because
Yeah, go
I mean I just wasn't thinking about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh sweet, like here we are in Germany, and then you get there and you're like, oh shit, like I'm not playing on my drum set, so like just like little stuff like that wasn't really what I was thinking when going and touring and being in a different
Yeah.
what if it was
obviously
the
now,
opposite, and you showed up and it was Terry Bozio's kit, and you're like, God
no,
damn.
that's never happened.
Yeah. It's, it's a funny.
Yeah, go ahead. Casey.
A funny memory of mine was the one time that we got to go to Europe with Decrepit, and it's Cryptopsy and Unmerciful and stuff, and we're in a bus, and
That's a sick lineup.
yeah, it was really sick, and we got to play with all these awesome bands in Europe. But that was like the U.S. lineup, right? Was it that was it, right, Joel? Just the three of us.
That was the
bands
time we hit
in the-
Behemoth in that story I told
Yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
We
And
played
so-
other fests.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and so we had a rental kit on that tour that was some kind of Tama, something like double bass kit, and James and I played on that and shared it. But Flo had his own kit, of course, like a Pearl, because he's like endorsed and stuff. And then we played this one show, if you remember, Joel, in Belgium, and
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah, I
they
remember
like
that show.
couldn't find like one of Flo's toms, but like the road crew like lost, or they could not find like what, and we could not leave the venue until they found this one tom like in like a case, and it was like a big deal, like it was like a problem, and they were like really upset and, like could not find this tom like anywhere, and the whole tour could not leave, like, or whatever it was, like, and they found it eventually, right? But
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
of course
they were like freaking it, like
I do
pissed.
kind of
Like,
remember that. Jesus.
remember that? We were like held up like hours. Like we were like,
Well, what about Casey? You playing Maryland Death Fest? I watched like a video a while back, but like Casey's got like knowing Casey's got he's surrounded by cymbals. He's got all these things, And then Maryland Death Fest, he has like 2 cymbals, and it's just him going like,
Oh,
like it's him
yeah.
just like hitting 2 cymbals all the time, like trying to make up all the cymbals
No.
like shit that his arms are used to doing, like just going like,
Yeah. That happened
was-
a lot, man.
yeah.
That was all a big
that sounds like a nightmare.
miscommunication. I want to hear like stories from Pierce, but just to say on that, that was just a big miscommunication. And that was the first time we played Maryland Death Fest, and it was odious. And yeah, it was like 2007 or something. Like,
Yeah,
dude, yeah, and like I didn't even know what I was doing, flying out there with my snare and my pedals or whatever it was, you know, and like. Oh, I had to borrow a china from somebody. Like I was like, oh, I thought someone, and in one email said there'd be cymbals for me or some dumb thing, and I had no cymbals, and I think there was 2 crashes, and then like I had to borrow a china from somebody, and like they weren't thrilled about it. And
I think
like,
we were the most unprepared band of all
oh,
time.
it was
going into that show.
that was really
I
funny.
think we like showed up. We like barely made the
Yeah.
flight there. We showed up to the airport and
That's
didn't
right.
know how to get to the hotel. We didn't have any transportation ready. There's no Uber, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, well, Dan, you're the oldest. You're 26, so you can rent a car legally. So
He's the only one old enough to
you have to rent a car. And then we
Yeah.
went to a hotel that a friend we thought was staying there, and we just like, all right, well, we didn't have hotels or anything set. We just like, let's just get there, dude. And that's all we
So
had
bad.
planned.
Yeah.
It was Memorial Day weekend, worst traffic day of the year. It was like literally like everything that could have gone wrong was bad. But yeah, that's what bands. Yeah, go Pierce for Pierce.
I was gonna say I want to hear stories like that about from you, Pierce, like just crazy kerfuffles, like just kit kerfuffles or travel kerfuffles.
Yeah.
Man,
I love
this
that
happened. This happened recently on the Exhum tour we were just on. I want to say we were in Raleigh, North Carolina. First song of the set, first 30 seconds, we lose power. So I think, on this tour, I was running in-ears with a click track and, guitar feeds from live guitars. But first 30 seconds, I think all the drum lines went out. Stage right guitar went out. The only thing people could hear was Chris's guitar and Brian's bass on their stage volumes. I didn't know what else to do besides keep playing, so I just kept playing. But yeah, after that, it felt like forever, like that we were on stage. But I'm sure they got the power working and fixed by about 10 minutes or so. But when you're on stage, like something like that happens, it feels like forever.
Have you guys? I mean, because you're like in pro level bands now. Have you guys in that level? Have you guys ever train wrecked or anything like that to deal with like a train wreck? Oh god, I'm freezing.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm back.
Not in my
okay. You guys all froze. But have you guys train wrecked, like had to stop a song in the middle of a song?
Oh man, I think it was my first set with Skeletal. It was at the 1720.
that venue that Joseph said.
Yeah, it was at the 1720. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was definitely my first show with them. It was the last song. I guess it was just nerves, and just first gig, nerves with a new band. Played the set pretty good for what I thought, first time. But it was the last song in the set, and I just kind of completely had a brain fart. Didn't remember where I was at in the song. Chris and Mike come back and trying to show me the riffs, like, hey, here's where we're at. And I was like, I'm just blasting over, it's just like,
yeah.
Chris was like, all right. He's like, we'll see you guys later. Thank you.
How'd that feel?
I mean, it's a little embarrassing, as somebody who
people understand.
Up, Yeah, I mean, it was my fuck up, so it's like a little embarrassing, but you get over it. I wasn't like too worried about it. That was like my first like, oh shit, like, am I fired? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
fired, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they're luckily they're super cool guys, and he's just like, just don't do it next time.
Yeah.
But that was like, that was one of my first moments where I was like, oh shit, like, you got to be on it. You can't be smoking weed before you go on. You got to be focused. And I don't know. I also do think it was just like, first show jitters.
Yeah. 100%.
Luckily, I've played all these songs a million times, so I know them all like the back of my hand now. But that song in particular was one that we hadn't jammed as much. But you know, it was all in good fun. Another train wreck, I guess, was when we played. What was it? It was somewhere in Portugal. It was a very big festival. Lots of great bands. It's not so much that the festival was terrible. It's just the drum set I had. The bass drum was not working with my trigger setup. So I was kind of trying to adjust my trigger setup accordingly to, you know, as the set progressed. And I think I kind of fucked with the threshold and the sensitivity a little too much during I think it was Tombs of Chaos, which is pretty much all double bass. And I fucked with it too much to where it didn't pick up the left foot, which is my weak foot. So the whole song, it was just, you can only hear the right foot.
Damn.
So
That's still, though, I mean,
that's the technical difficulty.
And you guys having to play like so many different like kits and stuff, like that's kind of my nightmare, like of having to like adjust like per show. You have to adjust like last second, like of what's going on.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, I mean, I'm really glad I didn't grow up playing with triggers because, I mean, I know how to play double bass without them. You know, some people when they learn double bass, some people just start off with the triggers and that's that. For me, it took me a really long time to learn how to do double bass and make it powerful enough to, you know, be able to hear it without a trigger, because every time you play it live, not always is it going to go perfect. You know what I mean? There's going to be equipment malfunctions. And for me, if a trigger goes out, I'd rather hear the mic pick up the bass drum and, you know, carry on the show like that, you know?
So you do like a hybrid mic trigger setup live?
If the sound guy can pull it off, yeah, because I mean, there's obviously a lot of stuff that like definitely needs the triggers now. But growing up, I never played with triggers. It was basically up until COVID, you know, right before COVID when I got all this new equipment, and that's when I got the call for Skeletal, and part of their live situation was triggers. And yeah, I think the triggers just help for the house engineers because there it is, you know. You don't need to eat through it. It's already good to go.
Yeah, they see triggers, they're like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like, you don't have to worry about
it's really up to them if they want to mic it and blend the two.
Yeah,
I'm fine. I think that's the way to go for live sound and
yeah,
you know, obviously
100%.
recordings and whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, once you start with triggers, it's always a pain in the ass to reconfigure on different kits, you know.
No, we've been on tours, Casey, where it'd be like,
for sure.
We had Woody from Black Dahlia going like, he's like, "Do you want us to mic it and trigger it?" Or, you know, there was just getting that blend right. It hits so much better. It was so funny, like when we'd be touring with bigger bands and just buy their sound guy for a night and like see the reaction of the crowd versus like going with a house guy. Like the reaction would be like, "Oh fuck, we can't afford it tonight." It'd just be a bunch of. And then if we could afford it, people were just fucking circle pitting and going nuts and like feeling it, and like it was really fucking apparent that that's a pretty important gig for a band, especially you don't know what, like, every sound guy that every venue is completely different, and they think things, they would all argue if you got every sound guy in America that you go to that's provided by the club in a room, they would fight over trigger and double bass, like tones of what you need to do. And like having someone that just knows what the fuck to do, like you would see the fucking evidence. Like people would move. It would be like less arms crossed, more head banging and moving around. Like
the guy
with guitars too. Yeah.
I mean, we've had those character sound guys that that, like, you know, like the guy in Sacramento, whatever that place. And you know, they just like run the place and know what's going on, like, and they're characters about it, you know. But it also depends on how big the show is. I mean, if it's a small, they might not even be there. They might have the new guy working and stuff, you know. But like the guys on the tour, like they're like seasoned, like and they're like every night different venue, and they make it sound great, and they know the music, and it's just like I mean, it's hard to beat that. Like,
Yeah, it definitely helps to have a sound guy who listens to music and knows
yeah, dude.
Because there's, I mean, every sound guy is different, but not all house sound guys are, experts in metal or heavy
Exactly, yeah.
Which is fine. Which is fine.
Yeah.
And it's, as a
Yeah,
touring band,
makes
if you don't have a sound engineer, then it's some nights it's really good and some nights it's not what you anticipated.
Yeah, and those are the nights that you play
Yeah.
the best, and your sound just
Dude,
is
yes,
shit.
that's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, that's the funniest.
Like,
shit,
oh
yeah.
man, that was so good, and then everybody's like,
I couldn't hear your
yeah.
Doesn't that suck? That's like one of my least favorite things coming out of the playing a show would be like people going like, dude, I couldn't hear. Yeah, that sounded weird.
Yes.
But
Couldn't hear the snare or the bass.
you guys were sick.
Like,
you guys were sick. You guys were super sick. But like, I couldn't hear. This sucked and that sucked with the sound, and it wasn't your fault. But just the sound was bad. And I'm like, fuck. Dude, that's like that's why you slowly start like being like, all right, we gotta slowly set a budget aside for a fucking sound guy because this is getting a little ridiculous.
Honestly, there's been so many nights where I think we're all our harshest critic, and
100%.
I've been wearing in-ears so I can hear everything, and there's like so many nights where I'm like, dude, we sounded awesome, like good job, y'all. Like, and then I couldn't hear shit. I'm like,
front of house.
I heard it.
It sounded great to me.
But there's like, I think just everybody's always the worst critic. But I mean,
100%.
since I got the inners, it's such a game changer, man. Like
I've never had them.
Being able to hear everything is such a game changer live, because before then I was earplugging it up and just stage monitor.
Blasting yourself. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's been tons of times where it's just like I'm just literally following myself, and because I can't hear the guitars, which is a problem for me, you know what I mean? But having an inner system, being able to hear everybody and what I want for the drums is pretty awesome, because I don't have to force anything out because I'm not trying to fight my ears, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no wedges. A lot of bands use no wedges now. Huh, weird.
One time I was a young lad, and I saw Hate Eternal with Roddy at the Galaxy, which is now the Observatory in Santa Ana.
We played there.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
This is classic, dude. That's where I saw the DSI Legion tour. That was so sick recently.
Yeah.
Diego, actually, we went there. That was like, a year or two ago. Anyways, point is, this is like early 2000s or whatever year that was. I don't know, 2004, 5, or whatever. Roddy was still in Hate Eternal. He brought out a cart, or a thing that had like his whole mix. He had his own like mixer, and he had all the mics like on the drums, and he had his own mixer right next to him, like a whole cart with like whatever rack gear on it, and then like mixing.
Was it like a 12-channel mixer or like
something like that? Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, how cool. And I don't even know what he was doing. I'm sure he was like listening to his own drum mix, and probably was just like, I'm bringing my own like thing here, and just like I can hear everything every night. And like I think he even just kind of gave the sound guy a cable. He's like, yeah, dude, I got my own thing here. And I don't know if that was might have been put through the house sound. I don't even know that too, but at least for monitoring, but it must have gone both ways if they're the mics. I don't know. Anyways, it was cool.
That's really cool, man. He's the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Yeah. No, that's fuck. We should.
He was the GOAT before. He was the original GOAT with that kind of stuff, or not like the original. I just mean like with like his forum and like the discussion about death metal drumming and all the instruction. He's the original GOAT for all that.
Yeah, man. I definitely watched all of his videos. I watched a lot of your videos too, Casey. Growing up.
Thanks, man.
You were a big inspiration to me. There's that Decrepit Birth rehearsal, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it's still
in the shed, or like.
Yeah. You had
dude, I filmed it, dude. So can
really?
I get some fucking? I was holding the camera, like I was like in that little tiny thing filming it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching all that, and then the drum work for well, obviously And Time Begins was great, but then the Diminishing Between Worlds was game changing stuff, man. Same with like Longstreth on
Thanks,
like
man.
Triple I, Informus Infinitus.
Oh, dude, yeah.
All that stuff. I grew up watching all those sick sick drummer drum cams, all the Hate Eternal, Derek Roddy's studio session stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I grew up listening to when I was trying to learn how to blast beat, like Mike Smith drum cams. I even remember jamming to the Odious Mortem debut album. What is it? Devouring the Prophecy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Greg, who was in that band Vornagar at the time, got me really into the like.
Oh,
the bass.
Vornagar, that was with Lord Marco, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
that?
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. My buddy Greg turned me on to
Good.
Odious Mortem, Severed Savior, Decrepit Birth, like
Nice.
so many other bands, But like, yeah, you guys definitely were on my radar, 15, 20
That's
years.
awesome. I mean,
Sick,
turning
dude.
it back
That's
on you
awesome.
though, turning it back on you a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
Going because to be honest with you, I'll be completely honest. I hadn't really heard of Skeletal Remains, and my buddy Joel, not Joel Hastings, a booking agent in town, and he was like, "You coming to the show tonight? What's going on? Skeletal fucking Remains is playing," and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, someone shows you a band that's like kind of like a big death metal band, you like every now and then, like in your adulthood, you're like, "Fuck." I've heard the name, I think, but you're like, yeah, dude, totally, I've heard of them, whatever. That's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
mean, honestly, dude, that's kind of like expected if you're like a touring musician. I mean, if especially if a lot of your work is music, it's not too far fetched to, obviously
Yeah.
hear a band and not really know who they are.
But it sucked to like. I remember I was in the parking lot at work when he sent this text to me, and then I was like, so I had my phone attached to my Bluetooth, and I was like, let me just throw them on real quick. I'm like, holy fuck, this band's sick. Like, what the fuck? They're playing in Santa Cruz tonight? Like someone telling you like, oh, a band's playing that you'll like, and you're kind of like, whatever. Because Joel's more of like a kind of like a metalcore, deathcore kind of punk booker. He's been doing it here for 30 years. Or 25 years probably, but
a little bit different than death metal.
yeah. And I was like, so I don't really was like, okay, well, you probably don't have anything I want to really listen to, and but he was trying to book more death metal because I was talking to him about it constantly, and he was like, I want to put more death metal in Santa Cruz. I want to put death metal in Santa Cruz, and he kept doing it, and I was like, all right, well, I need to go support. So I listened to it, and I was like, this band is fucking sick. Like, it's a very old school version, but
Totally.
new school at the same time of like a morbidy kind of old school death metal sound that I was like, God damn it. I told you earlier, like it was a work night, and I was like, well, I gotta go now. And it's it's like an Uber ride there and back because I'm gonna drink. I'm not gonna not go. That's actually Carrie Gear, my best friend, was like, he was talking about like taking breaks from drinking. He's like, well, you don't go to death metal shows. He's like, if you go to death metal shows, that's the worst part of taking breaks from drinking, because you just want to have a beer in your hand and watch a sick band. For me, that's like my favorite thing in the world. And so was doing that, and I was like, Teeth played, a bunch of cool bands played, and you guys came on, cool fucking backdrop to it, and I was like, damn, these guys look fucking pro as shit. Like and I felt just dumb for not knowing who the fuck. I was like, God damn it! Like, I have to tell everyone I know who this is, and I don't. I didn't do that, but I'm just, it's one of those ones like, you don't know who It's like when you don't see that movie, and they're like, you haven't seen that movie, dude? You haven't seen that movie?
There's a lot of bands, it's not.
No, and you guys fucking tore the fucking shit down. I was like, these guys sound pro in this shitty room that's very echoey. It's like, I saw Atheist and Cynic there too recently, or about a year ago, and it was very echoey, and so I just had to go up to the front, but then they all do the direct in from the Kempers and all that stuff, so it's like you can't hear anything up front, so you have to go like find the sweet spot of the PA versus the drums and stuff. But
I remember
it's like
that.
Yeah. It's like a gymnasium. It's a gymnasium. So it's like not made for loud, aggressive music at all. Like
No, I barely remember that show. That was definitely when I was still drinking and whatnot. But
yeah. But it was honestly, I was like, damn, this band. I think Naveen and Cheney were with me there too. I think Naveen and Cheney,
Nice.
and then and Chase and all those guys, Animosity, like all those guys were there, and we were like, we were doing this like that move where you like have a beer and you can't hear each other and you do the fuck, like, and because you guys were like fucking, it was sick, and like there's no question
Nice.
in there, but there's definitely like praise. Like that was I felt dumb for not knowing you guys. You guys fucking tore that show apart. I thought that was awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right, next question. What's your
Fuck
favorite
yeah.
color? Just kidding.
I was gonna say that
Number, dude.
that music video for the Conquer the Devout.
Oh yeah, he sent me that. So
that
sick.
shit's. I was like, I was like, these guys need to see this because
Yeah,
that
Casey sent
song
to
and
me
that
earlier.
video is really good, dude. I was like,
Oh, thanks, man. That was a very long day. We shot 2 music videos that day.
damn.
What?
We shot that one and the Void of Despair music video.
Mhm.
We shot those both in one consecutive day, and I think we were up for about 18 to 20 hours shooting.
Jesus.
It was I think we started at like 8, getting all the props and driving to the locations and whatnot. And we went to like at least 2:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Ugh.
And that was my first like music video experience, and it was really a lot of fun, except I didn't realize as a drummer how many times you need to do
Yeah.
the same shit. So I probably played the same song about 30 times. So I locked in all 3 of those songs pretty quick.
Damn.
Dude, speaking of like nightmare music video things, I think Casey had just left the band Decrepit, but we had to
Yep.
do the Resonance, the music video for Decrepit, and in Nuclear Blast, like, yeah, just show up to the desert in between Vegas and LA, just like show up there, and we showed up there, and it was like it's fucking windy as fuck, it was cold, whatever, complain, but the person there kept making, like the director or whatever kept making us, they wouldn't just be like play the song like from here to there, and then from here to there, from here to there. They'd be like play it all the way through, like,
Yeah.
and then they would be like, all right, do that again, like, I swear to God, probably 90 times, like probably like they were like, just keep doing it again, no, do it again. I'm like, can we just do that part that you want to work on? They're like, no, just do it again, like do the whole song again. And they made me, or made us do it, probably, I'm not even kidding you, we started there at like 5 p.m. and we ended at 4 a.m. and we were just doing they were like, all right, start from the beginning, and we're like, dude, but we're doing the vocal part now, like why do you have to start from the fucking beginning? And my neck was destroyed, and like I was completely, like, it was the worst experience. I mean, we were so insane by the end of that shoot that we were just like, literally all of Decrepit was in the van, and we had Lee from a Stratosphere playing drums at the time, or just doing the music video at least. But like we were listening to an iPod of just fart sounds and laughing for like we were like so bananas that we thought that like listening to fart sounds for like 4 hours, like we're just after, like in between, like when they were like resetting stuff up, like I was like, there's got to be a better method from like start, like playing the song from the beginning to end, there's not like
Editing.
yeah, it's like, okay, can we start from the middle to end, or the quarter,
This
the
riff
3/4?
section.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it was, yeah,
I remember when we were getting our drum shots, it was always start at the beginning. So yeah, there was just so many takes, but yeah, it was always at least 30 takes in between the
Jesus.
next song,
Dang.
So there's a lot. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it, dude.
get it. I have to piss really bad too. I was thinking about just leaving you alone.
Go for it. I'll just sit silently with the audience. Go for it. It'll be funny.
All right.
Nah, just kidding. So I did post the new video that I uploaded of the To Violently Vomit, the Better Jam. It's on our page under the extras section. But yeah, dude, go check it out. Or the Better Audio, I meant. I'm saying it like it was we, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me playing. Anyways, I don't know why there's not a space in that. Anyways, there you go. Sweet, sweet. All right, dude. So yeah, with Pierce, do you guys do like live stream jams at all? Like it's a new rule I'm trying to figure out how to do it well.
As for like Skeletal Remains.
Yeah, dude. Just live,
Um,
but like jamming, like not necessarily a concert or a nah. Yeah.
No, not really. We haven't really fucked around with that too much. I personally have been wanting to do like live stream, like just drum videos, but I haven't been able to figure out how to get the audio interface, that's connected to the Mac. I haven't been able to get the audio from my interface to connect with the real time Mac.
Yeah, I figured it out at one point, and then I totally forgot what to do. But I
Yeah,
haven't.
I want to do more stuff like that, but I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, it's there's like an audio interface plugin thing, sound or Soundflower or something like that you can use. There's like different ones, but it's like it will link your DAW to your OBS. So if you have like OBS and then you use this Soundflower, it's like a internal audio plugin kind of thing that creates like its own routing somehow to your DAW. You can stream it. And I like somehow know this and used and figured it out, but I don't fucking remember any. It was like over a year ago, and now I like don't know what I'm doing again.
I've
It's
tried
like all
doing
wasted knowledge.
I've tried looking at YouTube videos, but
Yeah,
I haven't been able to figure it out how to exactly do it.
I can send you I'll find the one that I found and then I'll send it to you. And
Yeah,
I have to refigure it out myself. I need to like document it this time because I don't know, But yeah, people are asking about
streaming drums.
It's just streaming from your DAW live to any kind of platform. Like OBS software is basically what you do to stream well live, good audio, whatever. But like to stream, dude, Ian knows, yeah.
Yeah.
Ian, post your phone number.
Yeah, post your phone number so everyone can call you.
And address, just in case
people are asking about the retromorphosist. Hey, I don't know either, dude. But it's all done. It's all
the retromorph is 1-800 get bent.
Yeah.
But no, I heard the retromorphosis and just from like a non-person that didn't play in it. It's fucking dude. Christian Munzer, fucking Dennis from Spawn of Possession, Casey on drums, fucking.
That's Erlen. That's your stuff, right? That you guys posted a few months ago.
Yeah, it's the album's done, the master's done, everything's done. We have the art, everything. It's just it's going to be announced, and I can't say much else beyond that. I just don't know when. That's all.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you guys posted one song, right?
No, there's nothing posted yet.
No, there's nothing. Yeah, it's kind of like it's
maybe it was a little teaser then that you guys put up.
There's been like little like videos of people kind of playing along to it, like Jonas playing guitar on one video, but it was like the Guitar Pro tracks. Okay. And then like I posted a video of me playing along to also the Guitar Pro tracks on the drums though. But yeah, nobody. Or we haven't posted like the actual.
Okay, it must have been like a Facebook like demo video that I saw.
Oh, there was like an old something way before I was involved, but it was like it doesn't sound. I mean, I can't even remember what that sounds like, but yeah, no,
it sounds. Casey did a great job. He sounds amazing. He hates these things, so I just like to say him. He crushed it. No, it's literally like fucking Spawn of Possession, but with other influences, and definitely like there's Spawn moments, but there's other kind of like trippier kind of like guitar moments. Moments.
It's not Spawn, but
I know. That's what Dennis is like. Don't say it's Spawn.
Yeah, it's not Spawn. Be clear about that.
That band was so fucking good.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's their music that they were making that was kind of like a different style, but like just a different complete style of death metal, but it was Dennis and Jonas writing stuff.
With blast beats, man.
It actually it was described to me originally as like kind of like Spawn meets Morbid Angel kind of style, like more open and brutal, or not, well, Spawn's super brutal, but not like super condensed technical, like more just spread out, kind of like, and so it's kind of funny we're talking about like Anthony and Skeletal Remains and like that more like Morbid Angel influence and like that kind of shit. But that's like, I mean, fuck, that's like the coolest death. I mean, it's like, that's like being like, oh, I'm influenced by Suffocation. It's like, what band is not influenced by Suffocation, or what band is, you know, that part's kind of Cannibal, or this. It's like, those are the greatest bands. So it's, you know, I mean, how many fucking stoner rock bands are influenced by Sabbath? It's like pretty much every single one.
What if a stoner rock band came out and they're like, fuck Sabbath, dude?
Yeah. Like, so yeah.
But yeah, no, Morbid Angel to me has there's just different, there's different feelings in all of it. Like Morbid Angel is like more of a flow, like with the flow that they have sometimes. You're just like, it's like it's gonna sound so California, bro, even though I've never ridden a wave in my life. But it feels like you're riding, like you're flowing on a current, or you're catching a fucking wave. Or something like that, though.
It, like up and
just
down.
ripping it. You're just ripping. I'm just kidding. But no, it feels like you're just like on a current or something, and you're just like you're forced to move your head. You know, it's like, and same with Suffo and stuff like that. So, as far as your bands growing, like, okay, put you on the spot? What's your death metal big four?
Oh man, death metal big four. Shit, man, that's really hard because I mean, my tastes change every day. It's weird. Definitely.
What's it today?
I mean, it's rough. I guess to say, permanently big four would be Death, Cannibal Corpse for sure, Dissection.
Okay. All right.
I guess I don't know. That's like, I guess just
Blackened death metal.
One of my favorite bands, honestly.
Swedish blackened death metal.
Fuck, man, 4 bands to sum it up. That's really hard.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh man. God damn, I can't think of a fourth one right now. Morbid Angel for sure.
Like old time, like because you're thinking maybe like in more of your terms of today, but like with everything combined in your life, like top 4, not like today's top 4, like maybe like everything that's influenced you to get you to where you are, and what's
yeah, I'd probably say those 4 then. Yeah, Morbid Angel, Dissection, Death, and
that's a cool one. I haven't heard that list. I mean, I've seen people post lists and stuff, and they're like Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, Deicide, Suffocation. You know, it's like,
it's hard because I mean I grew up listening to, you know, Suffocation, Deicide, and all that stuff too. But I guess formative years, and like this shaped my, you know, the path that I'm on right now is Dissection, Death, Morbid Angel, and Cannibal Corpse for sure.
That's a refreshing list. Usually people just say the same. It's like the top 4 of thrash. People are like Anthrax, Metallica, Slayer. And
I was honestly tempted to say early Sepultura because I consider Beneath the Remains death metal, and that was like one of the first records I remember like falling in love with, because just everything 100%. About that record is like it's some of my favorite shit ever.
No, Sepultura was my crossover from like not death metal to death metal. It was like I was in my state of new metal, and then I heard Sepultura and was like, I'm into this. This is like this brought me over, kind of like stepped me into the right direction where I was going. And
man, I think a lot of those earlier records, like to me, they capture the energy and the essence of like very primitive death metal. And like if you listen to the other thrash bands around that same time, it's really hard to like think of another band that was as heavy as like what they were writing back then. You know what I mean?
And just their background too. Their background of like, you know, from Sao Paulo, they're Baroque musicians. You hear about the stories of schizophrenia where they had to literally break broomsticks to turn them into fucking cymbal holder or hi-hat things and shit. Like they made it fucking happen. And that's one thing that always resonated with me with them is like they they were living it. Like that was literally their what they were feeling, you know.
And like I feel like with his vocals especially too, like they were just a lot more guttural and grunty compared
Totally.
to like where thrash bands at that time, they were like kind of
High pitch.
having melodies and harmonies and stuff like that, but Sepultura was more grunty and growly, and I don't know, it's hard for me to think of like them as a thrash metal band. Like obviously yes, but to me I always considered that early stuff like death metal.
Yeah, me too. It's like even you could say even like Soul of the Machine from Fear Factory was kind of death metal. Like that was there's like certain other albums that like bands that like didn't end up being death metal. It's like
what they capture with it, it's like that to me speaks volumes compared to how it actually sounds, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. I remember seeing the Cavalera tour where they did Arise and stuff. Dude, I was there. Nate, shout out Nate Ontogeny. He was there. He was like constantly. He was just covered in sweat. And it was the second night in a row. They played 2 nights in San Francisco, and he was like, "Dude, I gotta fucking go in for this song." He was just like going in, and it was the most violent bit I've seen since I was a kid. It was like people were like going in there, and heads were hitting the fucking. You could hear heads hitting the ground. Like people were getting on stretchers, getting taken out of that pit, and I was like, this is what I kind of remember, but I also feel what they were feeling. I was like, dude, they're playing this song right now. Like Cavalera and Igor and Max are playing this song right now. Like what the fuck? Like I felt I'm drunk, but like felt the surge. I'm like 8% White Claw surge. Going through, but I was like, I'm gonna maybe get in there, like, and just because it was a fucking like a wooden floor that was sweaty and bloody. And people were just slipping everywhere and falling, hurting themselves. And I was like protecting like people behind me that didn't want to get involved. And like, but it reminded me of those old school times. So just going to like old badass death metal shows, like it was so sick. I was sitting there, I was like cheering during like fucking like, certain songs. I'm like, this is so sick. Like I was like so stoked that like tears were just shooting down my face. And
I have a similar experience, man. We played with them. We opened for them maybe 1.5 2 years ago.
Hell yeah.
And I remember just watching them play all those songs that I love, and like I didn't start crying or anything, but I was just like felt like a kid again, like watching.
I had a desperate cry.
Yeah. But just watching them play those songs live was like really special to me, because like I don't know, I've for one, I've never seen those songs played live.
Yeah.
And hear Max fucking singing the words, and Igor all his famous drum fills that I love.
Totally.
All the beats, everything was just so fucking good and on point. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my whole life. And then when they came back out to do their encore, they played Beneath the Remains again. Twice, but they sped it up twice as fast, and it was
so sick.
I'm
getting excited thinking about it. That's so I mean, fuck, I had a good question. God damn it. But as far as like that whole, so okay, this is the question. So like me not being a drummer, getting into Sepultura, and listening just even to like Chaos ID, like Territory, the dun, 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 like all those like kind of tribal drum beats, was that like an influence on you at all? Like listening to like, because to me I thought that was amazing, but I didn't play drums. But at the time I was like, those kind of tribal, kind of like from your territory, playing like a kind of like old school drum beats and stuff like that. But like having it be like a tribal kind of thing, was that ever a thing that ever, not the tattoos tribal, but the drum tribal?
No, I got all tribal tats, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, honestly, man, I was really always more into the older Sepultura stuff.
Okay. That was like their Black album. That was like their Black album, right? Like that people were like, "Oh, Chaos City's like more new metal."
I get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't know. I love Beneath the Remains and Arise. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's what I grew up listening to, and then not so much Chaos AD, but I took drum lessons for a while and like learned some Latin patterns and stuff like that. But
Nice.
yeah, I wouldn't say anything off of Chaos AD really like inspired me back in my younger days. Before I got into death metal, I was like into jazz and like Latin and stuff like that, and my drum teachers would teach me all that sort of stuff. And yeah, metal just came naturally to me after listening to it for so long, you know.
As far as like you say not KSAD and stuff, Casey, this connection fucked up. But one album I don't really like is Roots. I'm not a big I like the song Roots, and there's a couple songs I like on there, but that was like for a lot of people, Chaos AD was like the old school fans. Chaos AD was like how Roots is to me, and I was like, all right, well, I'm kind of out now. But what did you think of like hearing like I mean, then Soulfly? I mean, Soulfly, they had a couple songs on their first album I kind of liked. I remember like in high school or something, but just you see a band kind of like a Slayer doing Diablos and like moving towards a different style, and then at that time, as you've been a fan for a long time, you're kind of like, what the fuck are you, like, god damn it. Like, and Black Album to me was one of the first metal albums I ever got into as a child, so it's that's just timing for me, where I was like listening to fucking No Doubt and Smash Mouth, and then fucking my brother was like, fuck you, listen to this, and I was like, all right, well, I'll get down, when I'm in the 90s. But do you think, like, I don't know, big changes in bands and stuff like that, where they go towards like Slayer and stuff like that, and Sepultura kind of move towards more of a popular sound? It doesn't really matter as much if you're a newer fan, but if you're an old fan, that kind of like rips your heart out a little bit, right?
Yes and no. I guess at a certain point, a band's gonna do what they're gonna want to do, no matter what.
That's an adult perspective, though. that's a being a musician and stuff. But like back then, that was like almost like a cardinal sin. Like
honestly, for me, I just really when I was, at least when I was growing up, if a band didn't put out something that I liked, then I would just listen to the records that I did like, and like that would be it for me. Because I don't know, back then when you're like first discovering death metal, there's like it's all new, so you can't like really tell the difference at a first glance.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So I feel like it takes for me at least, it took a while to like find what I do like versus what I don't like. You know what I mean?
Were you ever kind of like an elitist? Because that was my whole group, was just elitist asshole. Like, if you listen to this,
I mean,
fuck
yeah,
you.
probably more back when I was a teenager, but now perspective has changed, and
I still run into adults on this podcast that are like that a little bit, that are kind of like, oh no, you can't fucking. I was like, yeah, I can do whatever I want.
At the end of the day, like, everybody has the right to listen to whatever they want, and
100%.
Like, whether or not I like a band or not, like I still respect a lot of bands that I don't listen to on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
That's been my number one kind of like a trait that I've kind of learned or earned or whatever, is like when people show me bands, whether it's whatever genre, I'll try to find like the talent. Like, I mean, like today we were watching I watched the sports show, and there was I forget his fucking name. It's a really popular country singer on there, and I've gone to like fairs and stuff and seen like really popular country people play, and I watched the band and I'm like, you guys are so clean, the way you play guitar or what you play drums or whatever you do, like in that style with no distortion. You guys are so clean in what you do that I couldn't do that. I honestly, like in my head, I'm like, right now you can give me like a year training, I can't play that style. Like I can't. So I find things to respect in all styles of music, just to be like, Holy fuck, dude, that sucks. Like what you're doing out there, like playing an acoustic, like in like you're just up front in front of everyone, no one else is playing, and then you're doing this little like riff, this like southern twangy riff, or like if you're like a DJ. I've had a bunch of buddies that are DJs and stuff, and I don't listen to that music, but like they're like showing me what they're doing out there, and I'm like the more technical, crazy DJs, and I'm like, whoa, dude, like, and I work in IT for a living, and I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, I don't. They're like counting. They're like, all right, dude. So you listen to one, like my old guitar player in Odious. He was like, he's a crazy jungle DJ. And he was like listening to one thing on one side on one ear, on the other ear he's listening to another thing, and he's counting out the time signature. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and dropping it at the same time, so they all come together. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't even hear what was going on. I didn't understand it or anything, but I was like, damn, that's kind of like there's talent everywhere, and I always try to find it because I only care about talent nowadays. I just want people that are good or have passion in what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, that's sick. Whether it's country or it's even pop, like I'd be a nightmare being a pop artist. Like I would like.
There's a lot of good pop out there, man. Like
there's a lot of good pop out there, yeah, and there's a lot of good every style of music out there. Just a lot of good talented. Like one of my favorite shows I saw last year was Shakti. It was it was Eastern Indian drumming with fucking John McLaughlin playing guitar, and I was like, how the fuck do they even? Because they have these time signatures that are kind of like a Fibonacci sequence time signature thing, where they like, it's like the first bar's 4, second bar is like 8, the third one's 7. And they just keep going in a circle until it like ends, and they all go like, and restart it, and it's like fucking 15 bars of different time signatures, and I'm like, bro, how are you? I was sitting there just like holding my head, like, okay, well, it's not music I'm gonna throw on my CD player, but like, how the fuck do you do that? It's kind of like magician shit, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just getting your mind blown with talent.
Yeah, no, there's like, I don't know. That's the cool thing about music, is just finding out what you do and don't like, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, honestly, like,
What's the lamest thing that you like?
the lamest thing that I like, but probably like cheesy 80s love songs.
Yeah. Like, what's like a cherry pie, or what were we talking about?
No, man, like endless
Depeche Mode?
love, like that.
Yeah. Depeche Mode. I found a love for Depeche Mode in my early 30s, and like, just a band that I would never have thought I would like. You know, like just something like that. So it's kind of along the same lines.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just cheesy 80s shit is my jam.
So what makes it your jam though? What catches you about it? The lyrics, the chord.
It's just catchy. The lyrics, everything, just like the melodies, like Funky Town, like shit like that is
Hell yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I don't know, just like that's like my guilty pleasure. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, because you're on tour, you're not gonna listen to like constant metal. Like
No, man, it was a lot of Chopin and
nice.
Paganini
I love
on
Chopin.
tour this time.
Yeah. Chopin's my favorite. Chopin, I love Chopin, dude.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite dudes.
He's a shredder, man.
And actually, like, it just brings a vibe in the van or whoever you're with or whatever. It just feels like it just calms everything down. It's almost like a therapy. It almost feels like you put your shoulders down, just like, fuck, this is sick, and you just calm your mind and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, no, I love classical music, and yeah, it's very therapeutic, especially on a long drive when you're on tour.
So you never learned any, because you said you were talking about guitar and stuff, but you never learned theory, but you never fucked around with classical at all, as far as playing it.
No.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, yeah, like I listened to it a lot, like, but I never learned how to play it or anything like that. Yeah, no, all the classics, you know, Bach, Beethoven,
yeah, fuck yeah,
Mozart, like, you know, stuff like that, Paganini. That's like, I remember my dad playing Mozart when I was a kid, you know, Beethoven. So yeah, that's where my love of like classical music came from, And
I think that's huge, right? When you're a kid, just like they're cleaning the
that's great.
house or something on Sunday, and they're playing that music. It's kind of like I'm almost playing fucking Sade and Tears for Fears and stuff. But I wish it
Yeah,
was
it's great.
classical. But I
Yeah, yeah,
love Sade and classical. I inherently love it now. It's in programs, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's one thing that I've actually learned about, like, just because now I'm fucking working in a fucking office, dude, is listening to soundtracks of movies.
Yeah, man. Who you listening to?
Oh man, I mean, I don't want to just say Hans Zimmer because I'm drunk, but I have a playlist. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see. Kerry Gear, my best friend. He plays Son of Aurelius. He's actually the guitar player in Odious too now. But he put together this list, which symphonic. Here we go. So listening to Tom Bergenson and Nick Phoenix, Hans Zimmer, um, and Nick Phoenix. Who else? There's more in there. Thomas Newman,
Mm.
James Horner. Who's got my last name, so you got to listen to him. He's a fucking. Okay, I thought he was a director. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So there's like the Two Steps from Hell is from what's that movie? Invincible. Listening to songs from Archangel. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. It's just like it's very like pumps you up, but like doesn't take your attention away from what you're doing. You know, it kind of like has the background of like, because for me when I listen to metal when I'm working, all my brain will just like it'll be 50-50. Like listening to the metal, going back and forth, going. So I need like kind of like a flow state to like work. You know, that's something that style of music does for me.
Yeah, I was listening to the Gladiators soundtrack recently.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Dude.
it's pretty sick to listen to it in the shower, just epic shit.
Yeah. Just getting your day started and just like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the fucking gladiator, brother.
You know what soundtrack is really good is the Van Helsing soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a
I
really good
will I will
one.
definitely write that down because I have like my little playlist that I've listened to for like 3 years. I should probably add some more shit on.
I think my
Van Helsing, you said?
Yeah, Van Helsing. I think my favorite soundtrack is probably Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, fuck yeah.
It's creepy as hell, man. Definitely like captures the atmosphere of that whole movie.
Okay, so you're more for the more oh damn, this is sick. Sorry, I'm listening to it right now. Alan Silvestri does this. I'm gonna get this right now. But more like creepy shit or more like
Yeah.
three. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any atmospheric like kind of like stoner doom stuff?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes here and there, yeah. For the most part, it's a lot of heavy, fast death metal.
Yeah. Is that pretty much consuming like your main listening habits nowadays? Is heavy heavy death metal, fast death metal?
Yeah. I mean, fuck. It's generally a mixture of like Hate Eternal meets classical music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Along those lines, you know. Been listening to a lot of the new Vitriol record. That record's awesome.
So
was re-listening to Immortal on the road. Forgot how much that band fucking rules.
I love falling back into love with old albums that I used to fuck, like the old debut, Puritanical. Like I haven't listened to Puritanical in like 3 years, and just threw it on and was like, oh fuck, like certain albums you just play out.
Yeah, it's cool you remember it for the first time, you know.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That shit's fucking awesome, dude. Have you heard Theory and Practice?
No, I can't say I have.
That is a band I like. All right, I think I'm too drunk, and I think I have to kind of wrap this. I'm all, dude. You ever heard of fucking Slayer, brother? But yeah, man, it's been fucking awesome hanging with you. I usually have a host here that like does the heavy lifting for me, and I'm just kind of like a hammered guy asking you if you know bands that I like. But dude, fucking everyone needs to check out fucking Skeletal Remains if you haven't already. I was one of those guys about a year and a half ago, just going like, The logo looks professional. Who is this band? And I went to go see him. Blew my fucking tits off. Do you work on any kind of like, so your other band? What's your other band again?
Aenigmatum.
So real quick, a little quick breakdown. Is that your band? Is that something that
Yeah,
you joined? Okay, so real quick, because we didn't touch that at all. Like, what's the style of it? How did it get started? Let's kind of like end it with like talking about that band because we didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, so that band started out of the disbandment of Blood Freak, and it was me, Kelly, and Brian, and then we got our buddy Eli on guitar, and I just wanted to
What
mix.
style?
It's like black and death metal, sort
Nice.
of proggy. Yeah, I just wanted to play really fast death metal with melodic passages, so that's what that band became. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So like black and death metal. What's your like Angel Corpse or what kind of black and
Yeah,
death
man.
metal?
Like, I mean, like definitely like a mixture of like death and dissection, just with like blast beats and whatnot. A lot of melodic passages, sort of neoclassical inspired. Yeah, it kind of touches on proggy elements too.
Are you into prog at all? I mean, I'm way into prog, so.
I mean, not yes and no. I guess it depends on what it is.
You need to get more gray hairs, dude. Prog gets sick, dude, when you get older. It's like an old man thing. It's funny seeing myself like kind of morph into an old man. I'm going like, just like I'm like saying the same things to like kids like listening to stuff. I'm like, wow, like you gotta listen to the old Spawn of Possession, or like I'll like catch myself like being an old man. It slowly fucking gets you, man. It's funny and it's hilarious, but god damn it, like I wish I would have listened to my dad more and my mom more. Just going like fuck, like they had like old like advice. Sometimes you need that old advice.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the old school death metal's for, right?
Exactly. That's what you kind of you reverse engineered. You were talking about odious to like listening to Severed and all those things, and then going back into the old school. Like, so just I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. So going back, so you're already at like the crazy tech banana stuff, and then what kind of led you back to going from like bananas technical stuff to kind of like old school? Because I found myself doing that as I get older too.
I don't know. I guess just the riff structures and the passages, like just something catchy to, just something that I would enjoy hearing, I guess, first and foremost.
And you have fun playing more than
Yeah,
just being
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like fucking stress when you're playing in technical bands.
Yeah. Just something that I would want to hear first and foremost, something that I would enjoy listening to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I listen to everything and I enjoy everything. At least for the most part. And I try to pick, different things that I like from here and things from wherever, whatever genre I try to play into my playing. Yeah, I don't know.
So have you because you're going old school, like as far as like you're playing, but also bringing new school elements into it and other like are you going like completely out? Do you have like any jazz rhythms in there? Do you have like in your old school playing for like when you're trying to be old school? Are you trying to incorporate some like prog stuff or some?
I try to sneak in some little stuff.
Yeah.
Like
little shout outs.
Yeah. It's very subtle for the skeletal stuff.
Yeah.
These guys have a very specific vision for what they want to do.
Totally.
But, I'm also gonna find my ways to sneak in what I can.
Oh yeah, dude, that's sick. That's definitely fucking got to give you like a drum boner, dude. Well, fuck yeah, Pierce. Thank you for hanging out, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Super fun, dude. I had a great time, and like I said, Skeletal Remains. I haven't heard Aenigmatum. Aenigmatum. But that's your. I'm not even lying, but I'm gonna listen to that tomorrow.
Yeah,
I already have it on my list right now. But it's fucking sick. You guys blew my mind when I guess I saw you guys live and was like, who the fuck is it? I was doing the whole like old guy thing, like who is Skeletal Remains? Think there's opening this band or opening this or headlining this fucking concert, and I've never heard of them. What the it was like kind of like cocky bullshit. And I heard you guys, and I was like, damn, dude, you guys have a great live show. Like everything was like crushing, man.
Thanks,
In
man.
the room that we're talking about is a shitty sounding room, and you guys made it sound great. So this
Thank you.
band is for real. Everyone check him out. Hit up Pierce for drum lessons, right? Or
Yep.
merch and all that stuff. He's got Skeletal Remains and Aenigmatum. Aenigmatum. Sorry, reading the fucking word. It's a fucking daunting word, dude. It's not like a chill spelled out word for me. It's
That's
but,
okay. It's not the first time that's happened.
that's awesome though, man. Well, hey, thanks for fucking hanging out, dude.
Yeah,
And
dude, thanks for having me, man.
yeah, dude, you're a fucking sick drummer in those double bass fucking kicks. I'm sure Ian will fucking what was Aenigmatum.
Aenigmatum.
Matum. So
Aenigmatum. That's how I say it. At least.
it's like Anthony always says, yeah, dude, necrophagist, dude, is one of the better cool bands.
Hey, necrophagist. I don't know.
Yeah, but I toured with him, and I was like, what is it? I asked Mohammed, and he's all, it's necrophagist. And I was like, oh, that's not really what I wanted to say. But it's literally how it's pronounced for him, though. But
I remember all of that shit.
yeah.
It's like
When you're like,
to say that shit.
it's like cephalic carnage is like cephalic, or it's like, you know, all these people's the pronunciations, and then you hear someone like that's kind of reputable say it a different way, and you're like, fuck, dude, like, is he wrong, or do I have to change? Yeah, I know. Dude. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Pierce, you're the man, dude. Let's fucking keep in touch, and hope to see you on tour soon, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having
Hell
me.
yeah,
dude.
brother. Good shit, man. Have a
Have
good
a
night,
good
man.
night.
Yeet.